YouTube. Yeah, I've still not recovered. See this COVID thing? It's like after a week, I start feeling better now. Just knackered, really. I was in the studio last night after the end. We've got a gig on Saturday in the bungalow in Paisley, so that'd be awesome if folk would turn up. So I was in the studio last night and it sounded really good. New drummer's fitting in great. But today I'm absolutely shattered again. I did have a shawarma king on the way in, which totally made me get through it all right. I even made a point of I told the guys in the band, I was like, I've got to get a shawarma king on the way in. And the singer's like, you bastard, you want one of them? And so I bought him one. And I got a message when I was sitting outside the studio. It's like with my 2 shawarmas. So I was thinking, right, if he doesn't want it, I'll just eat it cold later on. Is that pure? Oh no, is that pure? I'm stuck in traffic. I would want to go to Shawarma King. I was like, I got you one anyway. And he was like, pure. So I didn't get to eat 2. When I met him out to the studio, I was like, pure. Oh, that's amazing. Thanks. Is that pure? Right. I'm waiting to have a bit of a private moment in the car. So I assume Shawarma King. Also, our Shawarma Kings may be in the next brochure or on the price list on the wall or something, because I noticed when I was standing outside there was a guy with a big fancy camera. Is it an SLR, a DSLR, whatever, the one with the big extended lens thing on it, taking photos of the 2 kebabs I bought. So possibly if you go to Shawarma King soon and you see the picture of the mixed shawarma, it'll be the one that I actually ate. Yes. So I haven't actually managed to fix up any guitars. I've got this Honor, and I just got this afternoon. So I've not done a video on the Badger for a while. This is I think it's just called the Black Badger. Badger, done by Alan Entwhistle, designy thing. This is an early one. This is serial number 58. Great fun. Actually, someone commented on. I used this in a live stream a couple of weeks ago, but the live stream, the audio's never good enough because my internet connection's not good enough. So here's a proper demo of what it actually sounds like. As you can tell, my nose is a little bit blocked, kind of a bit nasal. Yeah. So I actually had this. I looked up to make sure I hadn't done a video recently, and it was a couple of years ago. So that's fine. 2 years between videos. That's all right. I did. I noticed in the comment for the other videos that I'm going to take it into the studio. I took it into the studio with Cranking House, and it was great. Fantastic wee guitar. So it's a sort of like a Jazzmaster, apart from much smaller, like a mini Jazzmaster, but it's full scale and stuff. But the body, when you actually get a Jazzmaster or a Jaguar, not so much a Jaguar, but the Jazzmaster's massive. But it's this shape, and it's also this way around. You can see now it looks like a small-bodied Jazzmaster. It's a reverse body or an upside-down one, which I thought looked totally cool. It does feel a bit upside down though. This is fine, but when you look at this bit from the top, it's got a sort of upside downiness to it. High fret access isn't as good as it could be, but I can still get to the last fret. It's not super. I mean, it's totally fine up to where we are. That's the 15th, 17th, up to the 19th. A wee bit of a stretch to get to the 21st, and a wee bit more of a stretch to get to the 22nd. But I was actually a little bit. I think I've always said this, but I got this in a trade, and it was an awful good deal on it. It's like, Badger, that sounds like it's going to be shite. Totally not. But you can't get them anymore. These were not that expensive new. I think they were about 150 quid. There was a case that you could get for it, which looked amazing. And the case was 100 quid, so I never bought the case. But I think with all these things, like I always say with a lot of these guitar companies, they start off trying to make the best guitar they can, and they're pure amazing. But it says Badger on it, so nobody bought it. People were, oh no, you can buy an Epiphone or a Harley Benton for that. You totally can. Is it as good as it? Fuck. I really have no issues with this guitar, apart from the fact it's called a Badger. I don't really normally like black guitars, but it's a Badger, so it's got to be black and white. Actually, I very nearly bought another one a couple of years ago. Now, there's one you can get that's exactly this, but all the black bits are white and all the white bits are black. I thought that'd be cool. But you can also get one that isn't reverse bodied. The one that I saw, which was the black and the white flipped round, was the same shape as this. So I think the ideal pairing for me would be to get another one that was the right way round, as in this way round, with white body, black scratch plate, white pickups, black headstock. I think that would be pretty cool. So I'm kind of on the lookout for one. When I got this, it was like pure honest. The only thing missing is a coil split, and it's like, so I never checked. So I was like, I changed the strings, I took the scratch plate off. I was going to had the push pull pot. I'm going to put a coil split in it, and there's already one in it. So it's kind of there. We've got a Strat trem. We've got the sort of Seymour Duncan Invader type pickups, very high output turbo metal things, which seems strange for a guitar like this. But then you put the coil split in, suddenly you get, oh, that means you get like a Fender Duosonic with high power pickups, which I think is more what I would think. Looking at this guitar, I would expect it to be more of a Jazzmaster sound. But the neck on it is actually very similar to it's quite a chunky. It was more of a Gibson neck feel wise. It is 25.5-inch scale though, like a Fender. He says with ultimate confidence. I was wrong. Doesn't happen often. So remember this time. I made the scale length guess and it was wrong. This is Gibson scale. So Gibson scale, Strat trem, Gibson-y type neck, mini Jazzmaster type body. Built by some, built, designed, and it's got a really high quality control. I haven't done any work with the frets of this. I didn't have to do anything to it. That's what I said. I was a bit disappointed when I got it. It was like pure, so put new strings on it. That's it. I wanted a wee bit of tinkering involved. I noticed that I have actually got it. I must have got this before I realised that how you set it up. It actually holds tune better if you set the trem up floating. This is set tight to the body. It's a bolt on neck, obviously. Badger Guitar Company. If you type these in, there is a thing about Brian May, but I think it's more because Brian May's into stopping the cull of badgers, as in the animal, the badgers, rather than the actual guitars. But he did sign some at some badger awareness meeting or something like that. So you will see Brian May and Badger somehow connected, but apart from him having signed a couple, and I assume he probably played it for 2 minutes to make sure it wasn't a terrible guitar he was signing, and it's totally not. It's great. It's kind of weird the way it's Gibson scale. I'd never really thought of that. It does actually explain why the strings are nice and bendy, because nines on a Strats on a Fender scale are the same tension as tens on a Gibson scale, so that's why they feel more like nines, but they will be tens. So I'm just going to have a wee jam on this. As I said, I can't really concentrate into actually working anyone's guitar. I can do simple stuff, but I've got a couple of John Carter. I will get to your guitars. I'm just getting the Dremel out and stuff, and actually having to do something difficult. It's like the thought of it's, I'm not quite well enough for that yet. I could probably handle a string change or something like that. I will do them though. So playing through the Orange TH30. This was only going to be a 5-minute video. It's already 8 minutes, so it's going to be longer than that. I hope I get it to. What time is it? Now I have 4. It should have uploaded and processed in time. If you've not been watching Andor, really good. It's like the best Star Wars I've seen yet. It's like it's quite it goes through. I mean, I like The Mandalorian. I didn't like The Mandalorian at first. It took me a few episodes before I was ready to accept that it wasn't going to do something pure terrible, like the way The Last Jedi and that Rise of Shitewalker did, where you just go, oh god, oh no, oh. It's kind of embarrassing to watch almost. And then, so The Mandalorian, it got into a certain point where suddenly it's like a wee bit nervous, and then actually once it got to episode, I think it was episode 6 or something, one where they're on a prison ship, and suddenly going, no, this is actually good, right? And then I went back and watched it from the start and enjoyed it, knowing that it wasn't suddenly Luke Skywalker wasn't going to turn up and be a pure dick and not Luke Skywalker. Yeah. So, and then the Book of Boba Fett, I quite liked it as well. A little bit silly. And then the Kenobi one, and then Andor, you're like, Andor? I was like, Rogue One was alright. I quite liked it. It was a bit cheesy, but it was alright. It was alright. Andor, what are they making a series with that guy from? It's like, It's not really a very good name either because it sounds like Endor. But and then I watched it and it's really good. It's not. I think I can see how maybe kids wouldn't like it as much. It's a bit more. It's kind of like Star Wars and Game of Thrones stuck together. So a wee bit actually. Kind of my favourite all-time sci-fi is Blake 7 and Babylon 5, where everyone in it's bastards. That's what this is like. It's great. Real people, not No, sorry. Bit of a sidetrack. So here we go. So TH30 bridge humbucker. That's quite a overdrivey sound, considering that's like a 30-watt amp with the volume at nothing. So powerful pickups. Both pickups. Doesn't sound bad actually. I'm starting to rethink my idea of having both humbuckers on's a bad idea. I put a special switch in that, which in the middle position automatically coil splits them. Because why would you want two humbuckers? But now maybe the two humbucker sound is actually quite good. Neck pickup. It's amazing how now that I'm aware it's Gibson scale, it sounds like a Gibson. And push-pull pot, so you get neck coil split. Both pickups on. This is the middle position I was talking about in that green guitar. There's my backing track, then bridge pickup, single coil. Then what's the drum pedal set to? Play that. Notice I'm using the wee Fender amp coming up for sale, and the After the End one I took it into the studio last night, and rather than try and lift it back in there, I just stuck it in the hall because I'm using it Saturday night. What's happened? Okay. Bear with me, I'll dodge input back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rat pedal. And that's it. Bridge humbucker. I should try and hold it down to 20 minutes, even though I said I was going to try and do 5. I can't do it anymore. And again, these stupid roto sound straps, which I never give a chance to stop squeaking. Yes. So basically, yes, if you see a Badger and you're wondering about it, and you typed into YouTube, oh, I wonder what those Badger guitars are like. Are they good? They are. Yeah, I need to take this over to Scott's actually, see how his rating thing. I mean, this is a 6 or a 7 Naprob, and it's not an expensive guitar. If you can find one, if you look at, was it Gax or Bax or whatever it was, they sold them online. When I bought this one, they were out of stock, coming soon. That was a couple of years ago. I don't know if they ever got back into stock or whether there was only ever one run. Because I mean, the idea of having the name, I quite like it. The Badger thing, there's lots of jokes about having a good set tonight, with your Badger. Badgers loving sets, don't they? Yeah. But I can also see how Badger, not saying that the actual, the quality of the company or anything like that, but the actual name and the logo, it doesn't look really, really expensive. The logo, the guitar itself is really good. I mean, it's got a really nice glossy neck as well on it. It's got a scarf joint on it, turned back. High quality for what they are. I do remember seeing on one of the guitar safaris I went on with Scott, they had one in cash converters, and it was I think it was all white actually, and it had branded pickups, but they were the same ones as these. I think they say Badger on them, or they said Entwhistle, or whatever it was they said on them. And I was totally thinking it wasn't expensive. It was like 80 quid, something like that. It looked really good. It was the right way round one. So this bit was on the bottom, and then it was left-handed one. But because I was used to looking at this one, it was hanging on the wall like that, so it looked the right way round. And actually, it was the same as this, but a left-handed version of this. So yeah, bizarre. I need to actually have a wee look and see if I can find any more. This is one of those guitars that I keep looking at. I don't really play it very much. I keep looking out and thinking, I should sell that. And it's like, I don't want to, if somebody's really after the guitar, I'd possibly sell it, but I don't want it to, it's really good. I don't like selling things I like. And one of the things I like about this is the fact it's like pure a Badger. You get a Badger for it, and then you go in, you play it, and it's pure amazing. It's like, so if you're lucky enough to find one, I would just buy it. It's kind of my only. Is it the Fender Offset range, which kind of. I played one I liked. What was the one I liked? Someone had I did a setup on a Japanese Jaguar. It was a Jaguar, and that was the one I did quite like. That one. It was a really nice guitar, and I was saying to the guys, "This is probably the best of these Jazzmaster things I've ever played. It's quite good." He's like, "Yeah, I think I'll sell them. They're worth 900 quid." I was like, "What are they?" Right. So I maybe wasn't quite as into it once he told me they were worth 900 quid. I don't know. I think I know the guy, is it Josh from JHS Pedals, plays a Jazzmaster type guitar because he's freakish tall. He's like 7 foot tall. So a guitar, basically the guitar looks like this on him because he's so much taller than me. Same with Greg Koch. If you've never heard of Greg Koch, look him up. Coch, which nobody can pronounce unless you're Scottish. Loch Koch, not Greg Koch or Coach Koch. He's really funny, but he's the same. He's got a Telecaster called a Gristlecaster, which is, I guess it's about 5% bigger or something, just because every time he loves Telecasters, and he got, who's it that makes it? I can't even remember. Is it Reverend? About one of those sort of funny brands. Reverend makes this Gristlecaster telly, which basically just looks like a telly, apart from it's got a raised bit in the middle like a Thunderbird or a Firebird. And he just gets sick of folk going up here. Oh, is that a small scale Telecaster? Is that a mini one? And it's just like, no, I'm 7.5 feet tall. Fuck off. So that's why he has a slightly bigger than normal Telecaster. Whereas this is a normal sized one. Yeah. So sorry, I'm not very well. I'll be back on form. I'll return. I'm feeling better now, actually. Just when I was sitting there all day, I've just been lying there watching Andor, which is really good. Watched it twice. But get one of these if you see one, and if anyone's got the opposite one to this and wants to trade, if I'm ever selling a Buckycaster or something and wants to trade for this, I'll do that totally. But it's got to be a different one from this. So ideally, this way round, white body, black scratch plate, white pickups, and all that. Because I quite fancy having the two inverse versions of each other. Even though, to be honest, what would be the point in that, really? Because they're both going to be exactly the same pickups, the same neck, so they're going to sound identical. I don't know. They're definitely, they're warrant interest. It's one of those ones that it's possible you're going to find one really cheap because no one will know what it is. You know, I'll just type Badger guitar or I'll type Badger in eBay and see what the sold listings are, and it's going to be, nobody's going to sell actual Badgers, are they? Like the animal. I'm pretty sure I think they're pretty lethal. You can't have a badger as a pet. You can't have a badger as a pet. It'll be you that needs to go to the vet when it gives you rabies or possibly scabies. You can't take a badger to the vet. Who's compromised mentally because of COVID? And I've lost my cursor. Rock on. Catch you later. And Steve, again, Saturday night, Paisley, the bungalow. Come and see after the end, Black Sabbath tribute. We're playing sort of quite an obscure set, which is quite good. Well, it's got Black Sabbath, but you got to play. We're now playing Iron Man, which we weren't playing before. It's really fun. It's amazing. There's so much subtleties in these things. I was totally getting it wrong. We were playing it last night. It was like pure da 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 da. It's not. It's da ba da. If you don't slide the notes, it just doesn't sound right. That's what it's like. One of those. A lot of Sabbaths like that. There's nuances in it where you can play all the right notes, but if you pick them all, it's not quite right. There's quite often Sabbath are awfully good. They really are. I used to say it's like Geezer Butler's not really that good a bass player, but he totally is. He totally is. And Bill Ward's a pure ridiculous drummer. He was an amazing guitarist, and Ozzy sings. Rock on. Catch you later.